Today is the best day of the week so far, and this is the best hour of the day. Make it so. Make it so it is your choice. I'm glad you're prioritizing doing your yoga today, doing your yoga here with me, letting me do yoga with you. I'm glad you're doing it. It's really important. It's good for your body. Hi, I'm Jan. This is 316 Yoga. This is your yoga from home. This is where you do, at the bottom of the screen, says what is right for your body. What is right for your body today, maybe what is right for your body that wasn't right yesterday or won't be right in 2 weeks. Whatever it is, do what's right here, right now. Don't think, oh, well, I always used to be able to go into a handstand. Well, listen to your body. That's the big thing. Don't let it hurt. If something hurts, back out of it, take it to a lesser percentage. Don't do it at all. Listen to your mind. Listen to your intuition. If your body hurts, don't do it. Take care of the one and only body you have. This is a 1 hour long practice. I practice live every single day. Today's practice is what we call Yoga Plus. It's a combination of yoga, of course, plus barre, Pilates, and weights. It just kind of throws those in as well, just to shake up our practice and just do something different. Because every day our practice is different. Sometimes we do a vinyasa flow, sometimes we do restorative. It's up to you. Do what is right for you. All right, the word to think about as you practice today is priorities. Priorities. What are priorities? Priorities are what you actually do because that's what's important to you. If something's important, you're going to do it. That becomes a priority. Everything else is just talk. All right, you're gonna need some props for the practice. Yoga blocks we usually use. Yoga strap if you want it. You have your yoga mat out. That's your little safe space where you're gonna just work from the inside out on your body. I've got that bender ball, which I showed you earlier, called a bender ball or a therapy ball, kind of a squishy little ball, kind of a neat thing to add to your yoga tool chest. Have that, maybe have some water handy, a couple of small hand weights, and I guess that's all I got today, an eye shade and a little towel. Come on up to a standing position, and as we're doing that, let's lock in a stress number on a scale of 1 to 5, 1 to 10. What's going on in your body today? Just give it a number, give it a name, give it a number, and we'll come back to that. All right, let's find the ball if you got it. If you don't have it, don't sweat. Don't sweat it. It's no big deal. I'm going to squeeze the ball between my upper inner thighs. Just kind of engages the low part of my body. I'm going to put my hands on my hips. All right, take a deep breath in through your nose. And a big sighing breath out through your mouth. Let it go. All right, start to come up onto the balls of your feet. I don't know where Bonnie is. That's interesting. All right, come on up to the balls of your feet. Lift and lower here. You're squeezing the ball. It kind of helps you feel more stable. So lift and lower. Lift your chest as well. Your hands are on your hips, your elbows are back, and your shoulders are away from your ears. That little Superman confidence stance. So stretch out the calves, work the Achilles tendon, just find your strong foundation. Something else you could have is a chair or a countertop nearby. You can maintain your balance by holding on to it. But just move your feet. That's what I'm after. Waking up your foundation. Place your heels down, lift your toes up, and give them a wiggle as well. Plant your feet on the ground solidly. Lift your arms up to that extended mountain pose. Fingers lift, little bend in the elbows might feel good. Squeeze that ball nice and strong. Lift out of your chest, lift out of your hips, reach through your fingertips, extended mountain. Interlace your fingers, send your palms up to the sky. Little bend in the elbows might feel good. Start to sway from side to side in your palm tree pose. Breathe. Breathe in, breathe out. Sigh it out, let it go. Just move your spine sideways. Oh, let it feel good. When you're ready, let your arms float down as your body's back in a natural position. Place your hands on your low back. Squeeze your elbows toward your spine. Push your belly forward. Look up to maybe where the ceiling and the wall meet, or look higher up overhead. Hold onto your hips. Press your hips forward. Stay strong and stable. And when you're ready to exhale, hinge forward, fold in half. Squeeze the ball. Little bend in the knees might feel good. Let your arms hang toward the earth. Let them hang. Let them wiggle. Wiggle your shoulders. Shake your neck. Let the crown of your head hang toward the earth. Hands can be reaching toward the ground, or they can be touching the ground. It doesn't matter how far you go. Just let it be. Take a deep breath in. And a big sighing breath out. Let it go. You're down here. Maybe lift your toes up and see if you can watch them wiggle. Slowly plant your feet, roll your spine up one vertebra at a time. Come on up to a standing position. All right, lift your arms up again in that extended mountain pose. Take a big breath in and a big breath out. Let's do arm circles. So maybe tee out your arms and draw little circles with your fingers, or maybe you get into the shoulders, moving the shoulders, drawing big circles on the side of the room. And don't forget your knees. Bend your knees. When the fingers come down, the knees bend, arms go up. Yay, your legs are straight. All right, so nice little bend in the knees, nice movement in the shoulders. Take the circles in the other direction. Remember, they don't have to be huge. And your knee bends don't have to be huge either. Breathe. And when you're ready, let's come on up to a standing position. Close your eyes, perhaps, or keep them open, your call. I'm going to start that big coat swing, or I'm going to twist from one side to the other. So squeeze that ball, kind of reaffirms your strong foundation. You know you're solid here. Look over one shoulder, then the other. Let your arms hang heavy. Breathe, breathe. And when you're ready, let's make our way back to the midline of your body. Let's do our ragdoll pose. All right, you're squeezing the ball. If you don't have the ball, no big deal. But look down to your feet. Make sure your feet are 2 fist widths distance apart. That's hip width. So your ankles are kind of in line with your hips here. Take your arms, bend the elbows, hands to opposite elbow creases, hinge forward. Hinge forward here. I don't know how far you go. You take it as far as feels good for you, but take a big inhale and lengthen through your spine. Big exhale. Think of your belly button going back to touch your spine as you fold forward to whatever is right for you. Little bend in your knees might feel good. Tailbone is high to the sky. Think of loosening your low back. In fact, give everything you got a little wiggle. And then start to bring one elbow back toward one knee, then the other elbow back toward the other knee. There you go. Breathe. Let it feel good. Crown of your head is toward the earth, so your chin is kind of tucked to your chest. There's your ragdoll pose. If nothing else, I think this is a winner pose. If nothing else, go back to this periodically today. When you're sitting down for a long period of time, get up occasionally and do your ragdoll. Then we'll finish. We'll come back to the midline of our body, bring our hands down to our mat, come on down to your knees. Let's take a child's pose. All right, you have props for a reason. Use them. You can use a block here in your child's pose. You can have your knees together, big toes touching, hips back to your heels, arms down by your sides, head can rest on your block. If you don't want to use a block, if that's just too high up and you think, I can get closer to the ground but not quite, use a shorter height block. Maybe bring it down a little bit more. And ultimately, if you'd like, you can bring your forehead down to your mat, arms down by your sides. There's your classic child's pose. Wide-legged child's pose, same thing, but your knees are spread wide, big toes are still touching, hips back to your heels. Use a block or however you like. I'm going to use 2 blocks here, and I'm going to take them up to the top of the mat. I'm going to put my hands on them. Then I'm going to sink my head down to the mat. So I'm really getting into the shoulders with this variation. You decide what you like, you do what works for you. My tailbone, I'm going to think of it going to the back of the room. I'm going to lengthen the crown of my head to the front of the room. And my hips are nice and settled back in. Deep breaths in, deep breaths out. Let it go. So whichever variation of child's pose you're in, it's a good one. You're doing the best you can with what you got, and that is what counts. The fact that you showed up, you're prioritizing your health, your yoga, and that is good. Now you can close your lips and breathe in and out of your nose only if you like. That's called Ujjayi Pranayama breath, and it lets you focus inward. Breathe in. Breathe out. Child's pose. Come back to it anytime you like to lengthen your spine and enjoy the stretch in the knees and the hamstrings, the lengthening of the back. Let it be. Let this be your pose. Maybe push your hands a little more into the mat or the blocks. Or if you're in the classic child's pose, reach your fingers more to the back of the mat. Just let it feel good. Breathe in, breathe out. Come back to it anytime you like. But right now, I'm gonna come out of this child's pose. All right, let's go do a cat-cow. So bring your knees under your hips, your wrists under your shoulders, lengthen through your spine, push into the ground with the tops of your back feet as opposed to your front feet. Actually, your front feet, your hands, push into them really strongly too. Tuck your chin to your chest, tuck your tailbone under, arch your back to the sky. Inhale, cow, opposite thing. Bring the crown of your head and your tailbone up. Tuck and release. Just move your spine. Think about what's going on. Your spine is curling in one direction, then curling in the other direction. Movement is so important. You see your dogs doing this. You see your cats doing this. You're arching your back up to the sky, then you're bringing the tailbone up. There's your cat-cow. Keep at it. Feels really good. You know, if you want, do this for 5 minutes. You know, you can skip the next thing we're going on to, which is bird dog. You could skip the fire hydrant and the donkey kick if this is speaking to you. That's what you got to do. You got to listen to you. All right, let's finish up here. Come to your neutral tabletop. Bird dog pose. You can use the ball here or no ball at all. Totally fine, still real effective. I'm going to place the ball under my right knee to create an unstable surface. Tucking the right toes toward the shin, I'm going to lift my left leg up, knee to about hip height. I'm going to extend the leg long. Hips are equidistant to the bottom, or to the mat. Press into your hands, press into your foundational foot, and find your balance. Ooh, embrace those little wiggles. I'm going to draw the toes of my left foot toward my shin. Now here's an interesting part. I'm going to add in the right arm. Push the earth away, stretch the right arm forward, find length in your spine. Crown of the head is lengthening to the front of the room, hold it here. You can tuck the right elbow to the left knee under the navel, and then extend the leg long again. Tuck, and then extend, really extend. I'm gonna tuck and extend. I'm gonna plant the right hand, I'm gonna plant the left knee, and then I'm gonna move the ball under the left knee. You know, you can do all of this, some of it, none of it, just take it in layers. That's the big thing. I always say take it in layers. Draw the left toes toward the shin. Hold on here. Find your balance on that ball. Maybe today, that's where you need to be. Maybe you lift the leg up a little or a lot. Extend it. Draw the toes toward the shin. Bird dog pose. See, you look like a bird dog in this pose. The tail is long. The nose, the front paw is reaching. Reach, stretch, hold it. Elbow to knee, maybe once, maybe twice, maybe not at all. You decide. I'm going for 3 times on each side. Then I'm going to reach and stretch and finish. Hand comes down, knee comes down. There you go. There's your bird dog pose. Lengthens the spine. Take the ball, place it behind the right knee. When you're ready, lift the right knee up and start to lift the right leg to the side of the room. Lift and lower. And try not to let the hip pop up and open. Keep your hips equidistant and lift that leg. A little bit or a lot. Maybe work to bring the ankle higher than the knee. Maybe lift the leg up and pulse it. Pulse it up, up, up to the sky. So the side of your right leg is pulsing up, up, up to the sky. Let's finish. Hover the right knee next to the left. Plant the right leg down. Let's take it to the left side for this fire hydrant pose. Bring the ball behind the left knee, or nothing at all, it's totally fine. How are your wrists? If it doesn't feel good on your wrists, or your wrists are getting tired, drop down to your forearms and do your donkey kick here. Or not your donkey kick, your fire hydrant. I told you we're live. No edits, no cuts, just like being in a real class. Lift and lower the leg. Remember, forearms are kind of nice on the wrist. Maybe lift the leg up and pulse it up to the sky. Ankle a little higher than the knee. Pulse, pulse, pulse. And then let's finish. Hover the left knee next to the right. Plant the right knee next to the left. We'll go back to the other side. The right side, we're going to take our donkey kick now. So bring the ball behind the knee. Lift the right knee up toward the back of the room. Bring your knee to about hip height. It's got to go higher than you think. Maybe lift it a little higher. Push into your hands and your foundational left foot. Hips are equidistant to the mat, so feel the compression in your low back here. Let's begin by kicking our heel toward our bottom. If you don't have the ball, totally fine, you can still do it just as effectively, but the ball makes it a little more fun. All right, I'm gonna kick the heel in a little more, and then I'm gonna pulse this right leg up to the sky. So it's as if I'm stomping my right foot onto the ceiling. Maybe lift it a little higher and step on the ceiling. How are you doing here? I'm gonna lift it a little higher and stomp on the ceiling. When you're ready, right knee hovers next to left. Switch it to the other side. Bring the ball behind the other knee, or no ball at all, same thing, you drop to your forearms if you want. I'm gonna lift the knee a little, then I'm gonna lift it a lot, bringing the knee to hip height, hugging the heel toward my bottom, and drawing the toes toward the shin. Hold on good and tight in your donkey kick, your variation, your way. Maybe you're down on your forearms, maybe there's no ball back there. All right, I'm gonna squeeze the heel close to my bottom, and then I'm gonna pulse my foot up, up, up to the sky. Little pulses are the signature of a bar practice. Now, you know, we could be standing at a bar or at the back of your chair and doing the same thing. It's just as effective, just a little different. Maybe take it on the chair if you don't like being on your knees. So next time, you'll know. You know, you can always fold a towel under your knees as well. I'm gonna push this foot high up to the sky, and I'm gonna pulse it just a little bit more. And then I think it's time to finish. Let's bring the left knee to hover next to the right. Plant the left knee. Take the ball out from behind your knees, bring it up to the top of your mat. Spread your knees wide, take a wonderful extended child's pose. Hips go back to your heels, press into the mat to send your hips back further, or put your hands on the ball. Breathe. Breathe in, breathe out. Let it go. And then when you're ready, let's come out of this pose. Let's come out of this and do our ankle pose and toes pose. All right, you can grab your 2 blocks. Foundation is so important, stretching your feet, stretching your ankles. Come to standing on your knees, you got the blocks. Tuck your toes towards your shins and have a seat back on your heels. I told you we're live. Animals, so unpredictable. All right, so you're seated back on your heels. It's an intense stretch, isn't it? You've got these blocks bringing the ground up to you. Enjoy it. Maybe you come into an ankle pose, putting the tops of your feet onto your mat, and then coming to sit back on your tops of your feet. All right, so lean on back, let your knees come up. You're holding on to the blocks or no blocks at all. Maybe you find your balance here. Bring hands to prayer center and tell yourself something positive. Something positive about you. Nobody knows what you're thinking, so think good thoughts. Think something positive. Say, I am strong, or I prioritize my health above everything else. Whatever, say something positive. All right, so you're on the tops of your feet. Maybe eyes are closed to challenge your balance. I'm gonna go back to the toes pose, stretching out the fascia in the feet, stretching those toes. Use your blocks or no blocks at all, totally fine. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Feel what you feel in the feet. If it doesn't hurt, stick with it. If it hurts, hinge forward a little bit, come out of it. Go back and forth a couple of times, getting that range of motion going in your ankles. All right, you know where we're gonna go next? We're gonna go into a plank pose, and there's lots of ways you can take plank. If you're new to planking, you can lie down on your back and send your hands up to the sky and imagining that the ceiling were the ground. All right, so I'm going to come back to a neutral tabletop, lift my toes up, squeeze and scrunch my toes, circle my ankles this way and that, and then tap the tops of my feet out on the mat. Get ready to do a 1-minute plank. And we're gonna set a timer for 1 minute, but you don't have to do it for 1 minute. It's just there up on the screen so you can see, measure your progress if you want. Lots of ways to take it. Remember, you can lie on your back. You can come down to your hands and send your knees back from your neutral tabletop. Hinge forward a little bit, putting more weight in your arms and just trying it there. You could slip down to your forearms, having the forearms parallel to the sides of your mat, hands spread wide. Work your knees back and hold here. elbows underneath your shoulders. Stay there on your knees. You could tuck your toes towards your shins. You can pop on up and take a dolphin plank, lengthening through your spine and your tailbone. Totally good. I'm going to take, since this is our Yoga Plus, I'm going to take a high plank today, and I'm going to balance on 3 limbs. You can do whatever you like. Hands spread wide, shoulders over wrists, legs go long. Here is a high plank. Let's set a timer for 1 minute. All right. Just check on the screen periodically if you want to see how you are doing time-wise. And take breaks whenever you want. You could drop to your knees. You could send your hips high for a downward facing dog if you're in a high plank. I'm going to balance by tapping the opposite shoulder, and then I'm going to tap the other opposite shoulder. So back and forth, opposite shoulders. All right, let's see how we do in time-wise. We're about halfway there. I'm going to lift one of my back legs, holding it up, planting it down, thinking, ooh, this plank is a relaxing pose. Then I'm going to lift the other leg up, hold it, hips equidistant to the mat, planting the foot down. Going back to the shoulder taps. We got 15 seconds left, that's it. All right, lifting one leg, planting it down, lifting the other. You're strong. Coming back to a high plank, holding it for these last 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and done. Come on down to your knees. Grab a drink of water if you like. You did it. 1 minute plank. If it was a 5-second plank, it's better than a 0-second plank, but you prioritized it, and that's important, and that's really good. All right, so here you go. Take the ball behind your back and have a seat. Grab a drink of water if you want it. I'm gonna take this ball lightly behind my back. I'm gonna lean on back. Here's another thing you could do. Put the block underneath your feet. Lift your feet up, bringing the soles of the feet to touch, and the block is under the pinky toe side of your foot. I'm gonna work the block on up. Knees open wide, Supta Baddha Konasana sit-ups. You can have your hands at prayer center. If you have no ball at all, fully recline, totally fine. Little teeny pulses up. You can bring your fingertips to your temples and lifting the shoulders, keeping the shoulders and the knees lifted. If you're on the block and you're on the ball, maybe reach your hands toward the center of your mat. Keeping your knees open wide, finding strength in your core. Ball is just there to keep you up. It's all engaged. Breathe. Take your hands to surround one knee and lift, little twist here. Breathe. When you're ready. Back to center, just a few times. Take it to the other knee. Reach, lengthen, you got it. Back to center, just a couple times. Whew, it almost feels like a break. Take it to the other knee. Breathe, reach, you got it. Back to center for just a little bit. Other knee, reach, 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 you got it. All right, let's come back to center and pulse, pulse, pulse. Let's finish. Release the ball from behind your low back. Take the block away if you like. Send your legs long, lengthen up through your arms, breathe, and then hinge forward. Reach for your toes, your calves, your ankles, whatever you can reach. Send your gaze to your knees. Breathe in, breathe out, stretch it out. And finish. Come on up, the shoulders over your hips. All right, so let's do a bicycle pose. I'm gonna do a Pilates bicycle today, and I'm gonna take my block, or maybe 2 blocks, how about that? Bring your 2 blocks, or maybe 3 blocks to the top of your mat. Take them off of your mat, and rest them on top of each other. All right, that's gonna be bringing the ground up to us. I'm gonna do a Pilates bicycle. Now, if you have osteoporosis or osteopenia, it's not usually advised that you rock and roll on your spine. But if you're all right and you can do that, maybe rock and roll a couple of times on your spine, sending your legs up and down with control. You can have your arms down by your sides for a little boost of confidence. And then let's go into the bicycle pose. All right, Pilates bicycle. So, and be mindful of your neck too. If you've got neck issues, maybe not a good idea to do the Pilates bike. Here's an option. You could lie down completely and you can bend your knees and pedal like a recumbent bicycle. Totally fine option. All right, I'm gonna roll back, send my legs up and place my hands on my hips. I'm gonna pedal like an invisible bicycle up toward the sky. Breathe. All right, you can stay just like this. Don't turn your neck. Keep it nice and straight. And I'll tell you what I'm gonna do next. All right, so if you still your legs and send your feet up to the sky, that's called a shoulder stand. I'm gonna do
a Pilates plow pose. To do that, think of your toes as weighted, bringing your toes overhead. Toes overhead, and you're gonna aim for those blocks. They're somewhere there. There we go, I feel them. Now, you can kick a block off, or both blocks, kick them away, as you bring your toes down to the earth. Maybe that's an option for you. Finish up, send your legs up, up, up to the sky, and pedal that Pilates bicycle again. And when you're ready, roll your spine on down and come on up to seated. All right, how is that? Kind of fun, I hope. Let's do another variation of our boat pose. All right, so lean on back, hold on to your hands, behind your thighs, low on the hamstrings. Hug your elbows in, chest is lifted, maybe one leg lifts or the other. Hold it, bring it up a little bit or a lot. So you're seated as if you were in a recliner. Send your legs long and hold it here. Hold on to your legs, totally fine. Maybe release your arms and reach your fingers towards your feet or up more toward the sky. Maybe lift them up toward the sky and little teeny pulses here. Little pulses. You can put a bend in your knees if that feels better in your hip flexors. Totally up to you. Just stay strong. You got it. Let's finish. Bring your feet down. Hug your heels in towards your bottom by holding onto your shins. Heels are hugged in. Wrap your forearms around your shins. Lengthen up through the crown of your head. And then pop up onto your feet, to your toes. Lean on back a little bit more and have no weight in your toes. Circle your ankles one way, circle your ankles the other way. When you're ready, bring your feet down. Maybe kiss one knee, then the other. There you go, you did it. All right, let's find our weights. So come on to your back, take it back, nice and slowly. And with your weights in your hands, or no weights at all, maybe you've got a water bottle or two, turn your weights so your palms are down toward the bottom of your mat, as if you had a big barbell here. Big barbell. And then lift and lower. Lift and lower the weights. You got it. On your back, reclined, but you're still doing great things for your arms and your back and your posture. Lift and lower. Eyes can be closed because you are at peace. You are strong. You are capable. You are able. You are doing it. You know, you've heard the saying, it's showing up is 90% of it. Well, it's true. I mean, that's the prioritizing, right? Showing up is the hard part. Maybe you just lift a little. Maybe you lift a lot. Totally up to you. All right, lift the weights up. Turn your palms so they're in toward the midline of your body, and don't drop the weights. And just alternate, like big, like Nordic pole arms. Bringing one weight overhead and the other down towards your hip or your thigh. Maybe send one weight even longer, higher overhead. Maybe touch the edge of that weight down to the ground. Bend in the elbows might feel good. Just don't be hard on you. Be kind to you. I'm going to take both weights overhead at the same time. I'm going to bring them both down. The other edge of the weight's going to kind of touch my hip area. Lift and lower. How does it feel in the shoulders? Maybe put a bend in your elbows, maybe not take it so far. Maybe with the bend in the elbows, you bring one edge of the weight to the hips and then the other edge to the shoulders. You decide what is working for you today, now. All right. Bring the weights down by your sides. Press on up and come back to a neutral tabletop. In your neutral tabletop position, you can stay here on your knees. You got the weights in your hands. Draw one weight to your armpit and then bring it back down to the earth. Let's do the other side. Bring the weight down, other arm up to your armpit. If you don't have any weights, that's okay. You know, maybe just come up and touch your shoulder. All right, now I'm going to take these weights more forward. I'm going to send my knees further back. You can stay right here. Same thing, little like renegade rows. All right, Now I'm going to walk my arms further forward. I'm going to pop on up to a high plank. I'm going to hold it here. I'm going to take one weight out of my hand and place that hand down on the ground. It just feels better. Then I'm going to take the weight, and I'm going to bring it to my shoulder and down for about 8 or 10 times. When you're done, place that weight down, place that hand down for a foundation, and lift the other weight. A couple times. Maybe you just want to do it once or twice to prove to yourself, yes, you can. You can do it. Yes, you can. I'm going to finish here. I'm going to come back to a downward facing dog. Weights are on the mat, pressing into my hands, pressing into my feet. Feet are hip width distance apart, hands are shoulder width. Now pedal the feet. Breathe. Come high onto the ball of one foot, then send that heel toward the mat while you come high on the ball of the other foot. So like pedaling it out. When you're ready, we'll finish. Still your heels. Bring your heels more toward the earth. Stretch out your calves and your Achilles tendon. And then walk your feet up to meet your hands, or your hands to meet your feet. Grab your weights. Roll your spine up, one vertebra at a time, and come on up to a standing position. You can have the ball between your thighs. That adds some stability here. It feels nice. You can even be seated in your chair doing this, so don't be hard on you. No wrong answer. The wrong answer is just not showing up, and the wrong answer is doing something that hurts. So do what's right for you. I'm going to lift these weights up. I'm going to breathe in through my nose and out through my nose as best I can. Maybe a few sighs to let it go. Now you can alternate the weights. Totally good. Hello, Betty, Tammy, Stan, Diane, Lynn, Roger, Kelly, Tyrone, Yvette, Elizabeth, Barbara, Dee, Rhonda, Joanne, Joellen, Margaret, Margarita, and Marietta. Happy day to you. All right, let's lift them up high. Let's tee out the arms. Tee out the arms and pulse the arms up, up, up. Little teeny pulses up. Flip your hands so your palms are face down. Little teeny pulses down, down. You even forget that ball is there, but give it a good tight squeeze. Helps you to engage your core and stay all totally engaged and not putting too much strain on your arms. Lift the arms back up, pulse them up. Now bend the elbows. Whew, elbows towards the shoulder. Feels like a little break, doesn't it? And then tee them out again. Keep your elbows high to about shoulder height. Gaze is forward, your arms are strong. You can alternate the arms, totally fine. Or do them both at the same time. Maybe turn your head in one direction, then back to center, then turn it in the other direction. Work your neck a little bit. Get it going. You got it. You decide how you want to do it. But just do it. That's the big thing. Just do it. When you're ready, let your arms float down by your sides. Oh, that feels good. Take a deep breath in. And a deep breath out. All right, lift the arms up. Bring your elbows to about shoulder height. Bring your palms toward the sky like a cactus or a goalpost. Little teeny lifts here. Little teeny pulses up, up, up. Put a little bend in your knees. Put a little bend in your knees. Squeeze the ball. Maybe pop on up to the balls of your feet. Hold it, squeeze the ball. Let's finish. Bring your feet back down. Bring your arms back down by your sides. Let your shoulders be away from your ears. Put a little squat here. Little teeny squat, little bend in the knees. Little bit of a hinge forward. Your weights are down by your sides. Let's do that drinking bird-like pose. Bend your elbows, bringing the weights towards your armpits, and then sending them straight back to the back of the room. Armpits to the back. Armpits to the back. Breathe. Put as much effort in the bend and the flexing as you do the extension. Don't rush through. Don't let gravity do it for you. Pop on up to the balls of the feet. Your gaze is forward. Breathe. Take the weights all the way to the back of the room. Pulse the weights up toward the back of your room. Pulse the edges of the weights up. Breathe. Maybe lift them nice and high, stop the pulsing, and then pulse them in, towards your low back. Breathe. and then finish. Place your feet down, let the arms be down by your sides. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Let it go. Put a little bend in your knees. Bring the weights toward the front of the room, but they're still low near the middle part of your thigh. Then lift your arms up. Little bicep curls. Little gentleness in your legs. Heels are down. Breathe. Maybe you want to pop on up to the balls of the feet. Challenge your balance a little bit. Little teeny bicep curls. You got it? Yes, you got it. All right, you're on a good path. Stay there. Stay the course in many things. Don't deviate. You're going to deviate now and then, but just come back to your path. You know what's right. Your yoga is right. Movement is right. It's all about priorities. All right, come on down, or come on, bring the weights down. Straighten your legs. Take a deep breath in. And a deep breath out, let it go. Hinge forward, release the weights down to your mat. Remove the ball from between your thighs. Let's do some balancing. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. First thing, we're gonna do, remember that cross-body movement where we like pick apples? So spread your feet a little bit, reach toward the opposite side like you're picking an apple on a tree. Like you're high on a ladder, there's an apple like 3 inches out of reach. You just really wanna reach. Remember, it's 3 inches out of reach, so you're really reaching. You feel some stretch in your side body. Go to the other side. Now, you can be in a chair doing this, totally fine. You're gonna kick in some balancing and standing. All right, remember, the apple's just a couple inches away. You're just gonna stretch even more. You can come up onto the ball of the foot or the toe of the foot of the side that's reaching. So really find length there, almost like a standing crossbody bird dog. How's that? All right, reach. Okay, now, maybe take, when you're reaching to one side, I'm gonna reach to my left. I'm gonna lift my left, I'm gonna reach to the left with my right arm. I'm gonna lift my right leg. I'm gonna hold it here. Hold it, and then bring it on down. Switch to the other foot, switch to the right foot, lift the left foot, reach the left arm to the other side and hold. Lift the foot up, find your balance, a little bit of hang time, take it to the other side. Same thing, reach, find your balance. Woo, it takes some thought, doesn't it? You gotta engage that standing leg, but you're bringing health to your bones and you're nourishing your bones. Your body's getting healthy. You are wise in your heart. You know what to do. You know how far to take this. Knowledge is pleasant to your soul. Reach on the opposite side. Let it be. And you know what? Your discretion will protect you. You know what's right. You know how far to take it. You know what feels good. You know what you can do. Let's finish. Come back to hands to prayer center. Take a deep breath in. Tell yourself your positive mantra. Take a deep breath out. You will look taller. All right? Let's do that. Bring your body to the letter Y for you. Pulse the backs of your hands to the back of the room. Bring your elbows down for a letter W, for the word will. Remember, you will look taller, all right? All right, so there's your W. 2 L's, elbows hugged in. Press the backs of your hands to the back of the room. Chest is lifted, you will look. Tee out your arms, T for taller. Nice. Pulse your arms. Bring your arms down by your sides, palms face forward, shoulders away from the ears. Deep breath in. And deep breath out. You got it. So the first letter of each of those words, you will look taller, all right? Let's do it again. You. So you're getting into the shoulders here, right? You go from A to a Y. Nice big shoulder pose. You. Will. Strengthen those muscles in the mid-back. 2 L's, forward and backward. Hug the elbows in. Look. And T for terrific. Pulse the backs of your hands to the back of the room. Let your arms float down by your sides, palms face forward, elbows, shoulders away from the ears. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Let it go. All right, humble warrior, putting on socks. Let's do that. So think about this. When you have to put on socks, if you're in a part of the country where you wear socks, let's root into the left foot. Take the weight out of your right and lift the leg up and create a figure 4. Hinge forward a little bit here. As you hinge forward, think of creating a letter 4 here. This is like your humble warrior pose. Think of your foot. Well, think of your foot. Your foot's right here. Imagine putting on socks. So next time you put on socks, balance on your one foot. All right, so here's how you can take this pose even further. Take your hands away from your legs. Bring them to your low back. Interlace your fingers. Send your interlaced fingers up the back wall, looking down to your left foot, hinging forward a little bit more. Embrace the little micro wiggles in that standing foot. And then finish. Float your hands back to prayer center. Good on you. Tell yourself your positive statement because you did it. Plant the right foot next to the left. There you go. Stay low in your little squat here. Legs are strong. You got it. Lift the other leg up. Cross it over, figure 4. Sit back a little bit and breathe. Come on now, you got it. You're low to the ground. You feel nice and stable. If you fall out, no big deal. Get right back in. So grab your foot as if you were putting on socks and just tell yourself, next time I put on my socks, I can do it. Yes, I can. I can do it. Hands back to prayer center if you like. Release the hands. Send them to your low back if you like. Interlace your fingers. Send them up to the sky. Look down to your right toes. And then finish. Release your hands back to prayer center. Left foot meets right. Come on up to standing. Take a big extended mountain pose. Lengthen up. Big breath in. And a big breath out. Take a little back bend. Bring your hands back to prayer center. Fold forward. We're going to do a bridge pose next. Bring your fingers down toward the earth. Look back towards your knees. Bend your knees and slowly come down to your mat. Oh, before we do bridge, come onto your bottom. Send your legs long, toes up toward the sky. Lengthen up through your fingers. Exhale, reach forward. Let this feel good in your low back. Reach for your toes. Reach for your toes and draw all 10 toes back towards your shin. Breathe. Maybe they're a long way away. Imagine drawing them towards your shin and imagine reaching your fingers toward them. Pull, pull, pull. Gaze goes down to your knees. Come on up, shoulders over your hips. Let's come on down to a reclined position. All right, so all the way down. Now you could make this a challenge by placing the ball under your low back. Come all the way down to the ground, and we're gonna do a bridge pose. So bend your knees, have your soles of your feet on your mat, and lift your hips on up. I guess you could take the ball here and slide it under as well. So hold on in your bridge pose, stretching the front of your hips. Arms can be down by your sides, or maybe you like to tee them out. Maybe take your hands and push your hips a little bit higher. You can go higher in your bridge. All right, so now I'm going to let the weight come down onto the ball. I'm gonna send my right leg high, and I'm gonna draw some little circles. Now, you're resting on the ball. You could have no ball at all and then really press into your left leg. I'm going to draw little circles, and the circles are going to get bigger. Then I'm going to bring it in the opposite direction. Now, the thing with the ball is you want to have it kind of loose so you could really pull it out pretty easily. It's just a little stabilizing factor there. All right, so do the circles in the other direction with that leg, and then plant the leg down. The other leg lifts. Draw little circles in one direction. Push into your other foot. Don't let that be slack. Circle the leg in the other direction. All right, you got it. And remember, arms down by your sides or teed out, whatever feels stable. Bring both feet down, press into your feet, lift your hips up. Don't take the ball away yet. Then come back down, weight on the ball, lift both feet up. Lift both legs up, toes up toward the sky. Here's where you're really going to want to tee out your arms and find your balance here. Draw little circles with both toes here. Now, the ball at your low back makes you have to constantly wiggle to keep your balance. So draw little circles in one direction, then take them in the other direction. It makes you wiggle in ways you didn't think you could wiggle. You're holding on. Your core is strong. You are keeping your legs lifted and not losing your balance. You got it. When you're ready, we're gonna come out of this. We're gonna bend our knees. We're gonna plant the soles of our feet on our mat. We're gonna pop our hips up off of that block or off of the ball. Roll your spine down one vertebra at a time. Now lift both legs up to the sky and do the same thing. So you can see how the ball makes it harder. So circle, your ankles are glued together. You're circling your ankles, feet in one direction, trying to draw like little circles with your toes on the ceiling. Feels good on the low back, but you can see how the ball made it harder. A lot of times you think, oh, props are going to make it easier. Circle your toes in the other direction. And when you're ready, let's finish. Bring your feet back to stillness at the midline. Bend your knees. One more bridge pose. Pop your hips on up to the sky. Lift. Press into your feet. Lift. Use your hands again. You can push your bridge a little higher. Didn't even know you could do that. Just the presence of your hands, whew, makes you think, oh yeah, I guess I can go higher. All right, roll your spine down, one vertebra at a time. Toe heel your feet to the edges of your mat. Let your right knees fall to the right. Let your right knees, plural, let your knees fall to the right. Lift your legs up and let the legs fall to the left. Tee out your arms and turn your vision in the opposite direction of which the knees are falling. So just a nice, little controlled, reclined deer pose here. All right, let's kick it up a notch. Let your knees fall to the right. Lift your right leg up. It's easier than you think. Lift your right leg up and bring the outside of the right ankle on top of the left knee. So just kind of encourage that hip open a little bit more so that left leg feels kind of weighted down. Release the foot from that left leg. Let the knees float up. So does your gaze. Let your knees fall to the left. Now lift your left leg up, bringing the outside of the left ankle on top of the right thigh. And look to the right and just feel the depth of that stretch. Just that little bit of extra weight on there makes a difference, doesn't it? All right, let's place the foot down. Bring your knees back up to the sky. Find your weights and roll onto one side or the other. I'm going to roll onto my right. Okay, come on up. Forearm is parallel to the top of the mat. Elbow is under the shoulder. Bend your knees, clamshells. You can lift and lower the top leg. Keep your ankles glued together. These weights, maybe add in one. Oh, that changes the game. Maybe add in two. Or maybe you've got multiple weights and you're adding a heavier weight. So lift and lower. Maybe lift the ankles up and lift and lower. Open and close the clamshells here. Nice. Let's take it to the other side. Roll onto the other hip. Same thing, forearm parallel to the top of the mat, knees are bent, ankles glued together. Start to open and close that top leg. And if it doesn't feel good on your hip, put a towel under your hip. Maybe add no weights, one weight, two weights, it's all good. Maybe lift the ankles and lift and lower here. Nice. You got it. Don't quit. Finish up. Knees come down. Release the weights. Come back to the starting side. Reverse clamshells. Keep the knees glued together now and bring the ankles apart. Breathe. You got it. We're going to do the other side. Then we'll be almost done. All right. Come to the other side. Back to the other side. Movement is good. Don't complain. It's all good. Knees are together this time and the ankles work apart. Nice. And then we are going to finish in 3, 2, and 1. When you're ready, remove your weights. Bring your eye shade or your towel up near your shoulders. Come to seated, soles of your feet are on your mat, hands to prayer center. Tell yourself your mantra again, and then come to recline. All the way down. Feels good. Enjoy the getting there. Happy baby pose. Bend your knees. Let your left hand hug your left knee toward your left armpit. Right hand hug the right knee toward the right armpit and rock and roll from side to side a little bit here. Let it feel good on your low back. Take it pretty far. Take it farther. Let that knee work toward the earth. Take it pretty far. Nobody's around. No big deal. You're not going to fall into anybody else. Just roll on your low back. You can stay right there and keep doing this. Feels pretty good. Or you can come back to the midline of your body, reach the inside of your calves, or reach inside your heels. Draw your toes towards your shins, nice big bend in the knees. And then maybe send one leg up to the sky, then the other leg up to the sky. So bend and stretch. You got it. Stay strong. No worries, no hurries. You are rocking it. All right, let's bring our legs, release your hands. Bring your legs high up to the sky, point your toes, and then ratchet your legs on down. So draw the toes towards the shins, point the toes, start to slowly lower your legs on down. And if you feel any strain in your low back, don't do it. But here's the ticket. Hold your core good and tight. Hold your core good and tight. Let the power come from your core. Don't strain your back. All right. Once you're all the way down, take a brief pentacle pose. Legs spread wide, arms high overhead. Big capital letter X. Let this feel good. Breathe in. Breathe out. You got it. Time for final Shavasana. Oh, the goodness of that pose. Cover your eyes with your eye shade or your little towel. Bring your arms down by your sides. Wiggle your shoulders away from your ears. Maybe bring your feet in a little bit so your heels are kind of to the edges of your mat. Let your pinky toes fall toward the edges of your mat. Fingers reach toward the bottom of your mat and tuck your shoulders under a little bit. Take a deep breath in. And a big sighing breath out. Let it go. Soften in your forehead. Imagine your eyes as heavy in their eye sockets. And your limbs are heavy. Your breath is full. And be at peace on your mat. Savor this moment. Deep breaths in and deep breaths out. If you have your remote control nearby, hit pause and stay here as long as is right for you. And when you're ready to conclude your practice, you just hit play again and join us right here, where we take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Start wiggling the fingers and toes. Move the motion up into the wrists and the ankles. Inhale, reach up high overhead, stretch it out, point your toes, find length in the body. Think of a reclined bird dog. And then wiggle your hips a little bit, move your shoulders, and then bend your knees and roll onto one side or the other. Bend your low arm, let that bicep be a pillow for your head, close your eyes, savor this moment. Deep breath in and deep breath out. As you're ready, slowly press on up. Use your hands or not, eyes open or closed or not, whatever. Sit comfortably. Bring your hands to prayer center. Lengthen up to the crown of your head. Exhale. Settle into the earth. Gently blink your eyes open. Congratulations, you did it. 1 hour of yoga and Pilates and barre. Oh my gosh, you really did it today. And you did sculpt, worked with the weights. I'm proud of you. You prioritized and made yoga a priority for you. So you prioritize in your life what's important. Do what is important to you and just let all that other stuff go. Prioritize your health. Good on you. See you guys on your mats tomorrow. Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, gentleness, faithfulness, and self-control. May you have them all. Love you guys. Bye. Congratulations, you did it. 1 hour of yoga. You did it, you succeeded. I hope you're enjoying your yoga. It's doing wonders for your body. It really is. Every single day, come back, try it out, and enjoy it. Tell your friends about our yoga. Our yoga is free for anybody and everybody, and we're on Facebook and YouTube. If you'd like to support our broadcast, you can visit our website. It's www.316yoga.com. But whatever you do, show up, do your yoga, and enjoy your day.